Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. Um, we are continuing our video about our lovely object in here, the earphones that we tried to make. And just a bit of recap from last time. So last time we were looking onto a bit of a debugging for the surfaces that didn't want to close. And thanks everyone that commented for the last video. It's very nice to see that comments are starting to come. At least it means that whatever I'm doing right now, it is on the right path. Um, so a bit of debugging last time, plus we started to look onto how to construct the top surface in here. And I was using a separate model just for the top surface. All right, so let's go and open the model. Yes, and last time I was also showing how to arrive to modify a surface from the original one in such a way so that you can still have a nice blend. And mainly this would be the reason for doing this video. So we will have an entire video dedicated on how to make the transition that we have in here, right? And how to create this model to, yeah, to have all these surfaces that are in here done in such a way to look more or less as they look here in the image. So looking at the model right now, obviously we will delete this because this was done only for the purpose of showing the principle in the last video. And by the way, if you didn't see the last video, go check it out. You will see some interesting insights in there about how to get out of a difficult situation when you have some surfaces problems. And yeah, if we look right now at the model, right, what we can see is that okay, more or less what we have here on the top is looking similar to what we have here in the image. But what is wrong in our model right now is this section here, right? Because in our model that is just going it's just going up, right? So when we start to make the cuts, or where actually it is visible already, right? We have like this curve in here instead of, we will have something like this, right? Instead of having something that will go nicely and round around the model. Okay, so we need to fix that. I mean, we could fix that afterwards, and initially I was thinking, yeah, we could fix that afterwards, but I'm afraid that it will become so complex um, in terms of surfaces to manage that I'm thinking now that maybe it is a far better idea to fix it while we are in this stage with the model. So let's dive into it, right? So what do we have? We have a mirror in here. Yes, and we have this top surface, which is like this. So what do we need to do now? Um, and yeah, we will need to get rid of this cut that I used in the previous video to show the principle of what I am going to apply to make that top surface transition nicely. So let's remove that those things from there. Now I'm going to remove the sketch as well, and the surface knit because we have nothing to knit yet, and the offset. All right, so we are in here and we want to have that kind of straight transition instead of having this in here. So this can be done in a few ways. But let's look at the model, right? Or at the picture, really, not model. Let me delete this in here. So let's see how it is. So in here, we do have just like we have in our model. So the surface goes like this, then dips down like that, which is fine. We just need the last mile in here to just go round like that. So we could cut the model in here and combine it with a different surface and the curve. Yeah, we could do that. And that was my intention for solving it at the end. But we could try to do it now, to do exactly the same thing. And maybe adjust it a little bit better at the end rather than relying solely to do all this kind of stuff, adjustments right at the end. So let's see. All right, so I'm having this curve in here, yeah, and also this can be done in two ways. We could insert the third section. Now let's try this. Let's try those. Let's try that for that one first. So we have this point in here. Let's modify this. Where do I want it? Somewhere around here, right? So shall we say 20%? A bit more, 30%. Yeah. So we have it in here at 30% as it is. And now if I am introducing a new point and a new plane on the same curve to make another sketch at 5%, not 10. Yeah, I think it will be better at 10. Okay, let's put a plane in it along the curve in the point in here. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And just as I like it, I put this plane on the other side so that I can find them easily visually. Okay. And in here, I will want to have this curve and symmetrical. Okay. I don't remember if SolidWorks does know how to make things symmetrical by selecting the points. Yeah, I don't see anything in here. Okay, so the points should be, yeah, let's construct a line between the points. So in this way it will be, oopsie, easier to constrain. I don't want that line to be horizontal, completely horizontal. Okay. Yeah, let's bring the line in here. Let's make this coincident, and I want this to be a construction geometry. And now what I will want will be to have the same distance from being apart. Yeah, interesting to see that I don't have a somewhere in the menu an option to have them symmetrical, but okay, fine. I'm selecting here some lines. I'm selecting this line probably. That's fine. I'm not too bothered about which lines I'm selecting that are in the center. for making them at the same distance. So what do I want? Do I want 15? Let's say 15, and I will want 15 as well between this and whatever line I have in there. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, so now I have this. Let's see. Should be able to apply a boundary surface between these two and flip connectors. Okay, right. So something like this, which of course by the end of the model will give me a more straight end, right? And now if I'm adjusting this curve in here, there you go, I should arrive to be far more straight. But right now, if we look at the model, yeah, and also I was afraid that here we may see a symmetry, but it isn't. So the fact that it's not going in symmetry is not too bad. It's actually quite all right. But what we don't like, right? We don't like the fact that we have this kind of uncontrolled behavior. So we have this transition in here that goes like that. You know what? Let's see how it looks like first on after we trim everything together. Ah, I forgot to knit the surfaces together first. So let's see, how does it look like? Okay, so it looks like this, but clearly I do need to have more curvature in there. Yeah. So more curvature in there. Our object needs to look like nice and round. And you know, after you make the cut, you will barely realize what's going on there, but still. And it dips here at the front, which is not what we intend, isn't it? So let's see. So that it doesn't dip at the front, we just need to raise that sketch up, or at least to dip less at the front, really. Okay, so we can go like that. Maybe go even more straight in there, so that I have a bit more of a curvature in there, right? And raise it up a bit more. I'm expecting to be slightly dipped, but I just don't want to be exaggerated. I don't want from this angle, for example, to be visible as being like a dipped surface, right? Okay, it's not too bad. I still have some sort of a curvature in there. Which I can adjust. Or maybe if I go in a negative way in here like that, it will be like this. Well, we don't have any other views of the model, so I will keep it like that for time being. Right, so we are here and we did this. Okay, now we can, okay, let me save this. We can also play with the curvature of the surface in here, right? So that it doesn't go like that. We could also create a surface at an angle in here. And let's try to do that instead of going straight in contact with this sketch. Let's try to create an angled surface with which we can adjust this profile here, right? So I'm going to go here like that. And I think if I'm selecting this and I say I want it at an angle, I think I can say, I don't know, 45 degrees. Yeah, something like that. I don't care about dimension much. And now if I'm going to boundary surface, I can get this boundary surface and I say, well, I want this to be in curvature, and there you go. So here we get to this result. So what we need to do from here is to either drop the sketch, either cut it and blend it afterwards. Yeah, let's drop the sketch. Okay, so it is visible. Let me position this a little bit better. Okay, so I would say up to here. Okay, so it's a bit too much. Okay, slightly higher. Just a bit more. Okay, so let's see it again as a result. Let me hide this one from here. Okay, so it is in here dipped a bit too much, but that's all right because now I can raise this more, and there you go, it starts to get a bit better. Let's adjust a bit more this sketch. Yeah, and like that. Okay. So that worked. That is quite all right. I was planning to actually do it and then adjust the surface even more by using the freeform, but it doesn't look like it's needed anymore. I mean, I can still try to adjust this thing in here because you see it's not quite symmetrical. It doesn't necessarily need to be symmetrical really, but just for learning in the end. If I'm going in here and I will adjust this surface, so I do want it in here to be in curvature. I do want this to be movable and this to be movable and this as well. So I could adjust some of the tangent handles, right? Or I could insert a curve somewhere here in the middle, and I could adjust the tangent handle of that curve right there in the middle, so that it would be, less asymmetrical, but that would give something similar to this, completely unnatural. Well, anyway, we could have this, we may end up using this kind of strategy later on if we see that is necessary. But for now, I don't see the need for it. So it looks more or less all right. So let's go to the next thing, next complicated thing, for which I was showing yesterday the principle that we need to use for doing it, which is right, which is for this area in here. So for that we will need a cut, and we will adjust the surface using the freeform after we make the cut. And yeah, and in this way it will allow us to make such transitions, right? Just looking here at the back, you see that the back is quite straight. It's not having this kind of curvature, right? So if I'm going back to this surface, I think we can now use use the freeform on this, so we can adjust that curvature, right? So if I'm putting this on movable, the rest can stay in contact, I imagine. I do want to add a curve somewhere around here, because I want to modify only this one, right? Okay. First of all, let's, yeah. So I do want to modify this. I will apply OK. I need to modify it first. So I want to hide it, and after I will hide it, after I will hide the original surface, I will be able to modify this one in here easily without seeing the other one on top, because for some reasons, I don't know, SolidWorks is not hiding the original surface, so it's very hard to actually see what on earth you're doing on it. Right, so let me add a curve, I think in the end, on this direction in here. Yeah, and another one on the other direction in here. Okay, and now we could go, okay, so we cannot do that kind of modification unless I'm adding another curve, so everything is starting to be quite complicated, and I don't want that. Okay, so we will have to apply the same strategy as before, but this time it will be on this side, right? So let's modify this point in here and unhide this so that we see where we are. Let's say 30%, 20%. Yeah, somewhere around there. So somewhere around there, I'm fine. But after that, I need to have much less curvature, and I want to go straight. Right, so I'm not going to do something like I have here in the front, because I just want to go straight. And at the end of the day, it's right at the end of the model, so it may not be so critical to have stuff inserted like that up to have it in so much detail. So let's try, I don't know, 2%, somewhere around there. Yeah. And then I could insert another plane. Yeah, I think for the loft you need them like that, for the plane to intersect with the curve. For the stuff that are not in loft, you don't need them anymore like that. So actually, instead of going through all the plane, I could use just the front plane and just make the sketch. And this time I'm not going to make it symmetrical or whatever. I will just make a curve to look more or less as I think it should be looking. The model is asymmetrical anyway. So yeah, let's go again with boundary surface. I want to be in curvature here. Okay, and it's building something like this. And of course it's quite hard because here it dips down quite a lot, but then I say I want to go back to something more straight, right? But nevertheless, I'm not too worried about it at the end of the day, as long as I arrive to a result in which I'm having that curve a bit more straight, not that curve, that surface a bit more straight towards the back, I should be fine. Even if I'm going through something like this, of course I will have to see now what would be the result. And I will need the surface knit to include this surface too. There. Okay, so now I am here at the end, and I don't like that it's going like that. It is not going straight, and it looks like we need to go through quite some pain to make it completely straight. But from this angle, it does look far, far better than it was before. So I could leave it here for now. Let's see. I was looking quite alright before too from that angle. But I would still prefer something like this. Not sure. Maybe go with the sketch completely down like that. It will make it fade away a bit better. Let's see, so how it was before and how it would be after. So this would be the loft surface. Okay, so it will just go straight down with this kind of curvature in here. Yeah, I'm all right. So I will just use it as it is right now. Okay, so let's check it from this perspective. Yeah, so from that perspective, it's not fading away as much as before. So that's what we lose with it. But I can always dip just one side of it a bit more. While I'm leaving the other side less dipped. And if I go even lower with it, yeah, it will just go lower, but it will keep the same kind of curvature in there. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not straight no matter what we are doing to it. Yeah, I don't mind. being like that. It's not such a big deal being right at the back anyway. Okay, okay, fine. So leave it there. Let's not waste more of our time on it. Right, so let's see. Going back to this surface that we were talking about in the past for making the transition. So if you didn't see the previous video explaining the principle for it, I would strongly recommend to watch it because yeah, it will show you why is this in here quite important and how that should be done. Was just looking now at the model and yeah, it looks like way below in there. Can we do something like that before we continue with anything else? It doesn't look like it wants to do it, so let's try even lower as a surface. And let's try with this curve as well, lower. Yeah, of course it will make it very curvy kind of thing on this side, which I don't like. Yeah, I will keep it like that. And it looks like here we may need to apply a different transition so that it looks asymmetrical. I'm not sure if that is so important for what we're doing given how the model is. Anyway, right, let's go and do those modifications. So what do I want to do now? Well, first of all, I want to see things. Yeah, right now I don't really see things because this surface is bigger from the previous model, so I'm just going to cut it as a trim tool. I want this. Keep selection. Yeah, let's keep this selection. Okay. Just want to see how this is before doing any cuts. I will want to apply symmetry of this body as well to see where I am. So let's do that. Mirror, plane, right plane, not faces, bodies, this one here. Okay, so now I have an idea of where I am with this model. Ah, interesting. Surface trim. Interestingly, yes, because I'm because I am cutting this side and I'm making the mirror. Okay, never mind. That is easily understandable. So what do we need? We need to cut the model in here, raise that surface up slightly, remake the surface around here by blending it in. And yeah, and that's kind of it. And then apply the filleting and joining them up together, because after that all these in here are just cuts. So they will be done separately. Okay. So let's see, where can we, or how can we make it? Where are we? So it is quite towards the middle, right? So it's somewhere around here. And it goes like 2/3 towards the front. So how, so we saw yesterday that we cannot actually cut the model in with rounded corners because it will consider them rebuild and save the document. Okay, rebuild. Yes. So we saw last time that if we cut this around the corners, we cannot really use the freeform surfaces afterwards, simply because they are going to be considered as one domain, or the edges is going to be considered as one continuous edge. So it's not going to work like that. So what we can do is cut using curves, but that will go into straight corners. Use those surfaces to adjust, and then trim them to create some sort of fillets, and then use those for blending, right? Let's try to do exactly that. And let me hide this line in here. It's quite a very fine transition, so it's not, we don't need a lot of modification in there, but we need to make it proper. So if we go like this in here, I'm just using this, the third curve, it doesn't really matter much because it's going to be the side that will remain fixed in place. You will see what I mean in a few seconds or in a few minutes. All right, so let's make an extrude in here. I do want an offset, and an offset, I think it's 5 would be just enough, so that it doesn't start right from the middle. Okay, so we are here with this surface. Let's try something fast, because I want to have the fillets done already when I modify everything, rather than cutting and making them afterwards. So I will try this with about 3 millimeters, should be just fine. Okay, and let's see, and after that I will want, yeah, it's the right surface need, so I will want this surface need an offset on 0. Okay, and now let's cut it. So this would be the cutting tool, keep selection, I will keep that one. And let's say if the freeform is allowing us to modify now, given that we have one fillet onto this corner. Yeah, so as you can see, all of them are in contact or tangent or anything. None of them are in free form, so we are not going to be able to do it. All right, so that means we delete the fillet in here. So we have this surface now. Going to unhide this one in here. I will make the same cut but on the other side. Okay, so keep this. All right, so now we are here. So what do we need to do is just to raise this surface slightly up, while towards here will remain in continuity with the original surface, like you wouldn't see any seams towards towards the middle, right? If I'm looking right now, I can see that at the back I will need a bit more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this. Let me see, where is the sketch? Yeah, so I'm going to get this one in here and be close to the back of it, right? And now I can see that the lines are not quite matching, so I'll make it a bit more straight. And I think I need to be with this one here a bit more towards the center. Let's see, let's look at it again from a similar angle that we have in there. So we are here at the back. Okay. Yeah, and I can see that this surface here is not in negative anymore. That's okay, we can solve that later on. Okay, just looking to see if we have it to the right dimensions. Okay, so it is on the other side of the symmetry actually. This is way too close to that edge. So I'm going to just push this one more towards here. There. So in this way, it is closer to this side. Okay. Yeah. So if this would be the center, if this would be the center of the model in here, and this would be the center on the other side, right? If we draw a line between them, we can see that around this point here would be half of it, right? Yeah, so this is about right. Okay, cool. So now that we have done that, we go and we should be allowed to freeform, haha, but we are not allowed to freeform this one here. That's an interesting one. In the end, we will be allowed to freeform only one section, which is not great, but we can solve that easily to recover time by modifying the position of this point to be closer to the back. There. It is going to modify slightly our curves. Right, so it was 15. I don't think it's enough. So 17%. Come on, that's it. To be just about there, but to allow us to have one surface, not two. Okay, so now I can go in here, I can apply freeform, and I should be able to have the things correctly, not contact, actually done as they should. And for some reason, right now I don't anymore. Let's see, why is that? Is it because it's detecting somewhere a different edge? So all the continuity and all that. Let's rebuild this thing and let's see what's going on. Ah, yes, I can see. I'm having still this edge in there. Okay. So most probably it is because of that. So I'm going to adjust this edge in here so that I am sure I remain with one domain. There. Yeah, so if you have a surface that is made of two surfaces, two patches, yes, that is made of two patches, it's not going to identify it correctly. That's why probably when you have rounded corners, it is considering more than one patch. So of course, it becomes confused. It starts to be confused, right? Um, what I want now is to unhide the other surface that I have. Yeah, it's this one here, because I want to be able to see what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm going to hide this surface trim just so that I can see the modifications, and I apply a freeform, which of course, if you hide it, doesn't take it. Okay, so let's apply the freeform first. Let's put this in movable, this as well in movable, and this in movable, but this in curvature so that it stays continuous to the surface at the end. Let's modify it a bit, hide it. We don't need to hide it because anyway we go um, only up, so we will be able to see the result at the end of the day. So that should be just fine. Okay, so let's raise this, this, and this. Let's raise them up. I'm looking now to see this is global, yes. So the orientation of this, I don't know, compass, if we call it like that, I have no clue. It's on global because I don't like when it is on local. Okay, so I raise it up and then I also move it slightly in that direction. Okay. Just thinking, do I want to do anything more than that? Because the effect will have to be very, very subtle. So I may not need to do anything more than that than just to raise them up and leave things flow naturally. So let's see. Ah, yes, we can use the picture to guide us a little bit, right? So somewhere around here will start to fade away. So somewhere around the middle will start to fade away. So we still need a little bit of surface to be raised up. So how about I'm just going to raise this up like that. Do I need more? I don't think I need more than that. We could easily see afterwards anyway. Just thinking about, yeah, I think I'm good with it. At the end of the day, the reflections will actually sell it. Right, so we are here and we did this part of this surface. Now in here we can see that it is blend in with the original one, and it's done in such a way so that you don't have like a step. So we have this one in here, which will transition perfectly blending with the original one. So that's great. That's solved. Now what we don't have is that blend around. Yeah. So there are a few ways to do it, but I will try now to just cut somewhere until like, I don't know, around half on each side, and then blend it with boundary surface, right? So to do that, I will use this extrude that I had. I will make an offset, cut it with this original surface that I have in here after it is extended, and then cut the other surface. Yeah. So this and this, 10 millimeters, no, 5, I think, not even 3. I will try 3 initially. Yeah, so we have this one in with 3 as an offset. Now I will want this one to make a copy of it, which is an offset in 0. Okay, then I will want them extended. Actually, I will want both of them extended just to be sure that they intersect and I will be able to cut them off. There you go. And now I will want mutual trim. Yeah, keep selection. Want to keep those. And now I will want to cut the original surface, not the original, the other surface on the other way around. I want to cut it like that. Ah, yes. And what we forgot about is exactly the rounded corners, yeah. So what I will want to do now before doing the cut would be apply a fillet in here. Yeah, I will be fine with that. And also on the original surface that I had in here that I use it to cut, I will want a fillet as well. Just searching for it. There you go. We have it in here. So if this was free and I'm having like free as an offset, well, it should be 0 as a as a fillet, but I will apply something like, I don't know, 0.5, something small. 1 would be better, yes. Okay. Now I can cut both surfaces. So let's cut them up. Standard, I want to keep this one. And now cannot partition surface. Okay. Yeah, because he doesn't know. So clear selection again, this one, and I will want to keep this one. So in this way, we will have both of them done with okay. But because we moved it, we have them done with the wrong, yeah, with the wrong fillet in there. So what we will need to do, instead of using a fillet in here, we need to make an offset of this, just enough to cut this one in here, and then apply the fillet to it, and then cut it. So let's do exactly that. So offset this and that. How much do I want? 1. It's a bit too much. I would say 0.5. I don't want to go too far from what we have. Okay, 0.5 should be just fine. I will want to extend it in here just to be sure that I'm not going to have any surprises when I want to cut the surfaces up. Come on, let me select that edge there. Good. Okay, now I can apply a fillet of, let's say, 1. Okay, so I can see what's going on. So now I can adjust this instead of being at 1. I don't know how much it was, 0.5. I can say 0.2. I'm still safe. Okay, that's great. And now I can cut. So I can use this, keep this, and hide this. And the other one is already done. All right. So now we are here. From here should be fairly easy because all this being continuous, I shouldn't have a problem to see the transition correctly. And yeah, and after that I will be able to apply whatever fillets I need and make the cuts from the fillets and then make again another blend to it. Yeah. So yeah, so let's do exactly that. So if I'm going now to apply a boundary surface between these two, or shall I start with the fillet in here? Yeah, I think I will. No, I will do the fillet with the resulting surfaces. So I want this to be in curvature, but I want here to be in none. Or I think I can. No, I cannot choose contact, but still I want to be in none. Now, along with the line with the other section and in curvature, so it should still make it correct and straight as I want it. So I will keep it like that. And I will make the other surface in here. Curvature and in contact or none. Align with the next section. Okay. So now we are like that. And in here I should be able to do another boundary surface between those two, but this time I will be able to use the other surface in here. And I cannot in this point because I'm having a different edge, right? So I could use the fill command, which I usually don't like to use because it's not very good to use that. I'm just looking at the surfaces in here because I can see them not looking like I would like, or just not for now. Let's go with fill for now, just to have an idea of what the result is, and then we can go to with different kind of strategy. So in curvature here, in curvature there. Okay. Here I would want in contact, and here I would want in curvature. Okay, right. So now that is done. Let's knit them together and let's see how the reflections are. Okay, well, not too bad. I mean, it does have the type of effect that we wanted, and of course now this is up to the very end in here. Yes, because we selected contact on this edge, right? So that means that somewhere somewhere at the somewhere towards the middle, we should select something different. We should blend them up together differently. Yeah, but for now I can see that the reflection is broken up by this. So what I think we need to do now to be a bit more visible, because it may be not enough the amount of reflections that we do have, right? So we could go in here and we could select a different amount for this, yeah, for this movement. So let's go and modify this in here to be even more exaggerated. And now I will raise this a bit more. Okay. And yeah, let's move only this like that. Something like that, yeah. So now if I go here, okay, I can see it like this. And it is what I'm expecting, but it's quite a lot. It may not be such a bad idea being so exaggerated, and especially in, you know, when you have all the reflections around from the material of the model, you cannot see it so well. Yeah, so it may be a good idea to be exaggerated like that. So for the time being, I will leave it as it is, just to be sure that whatever transition I'm having it in here, it is fading away nicely, right? It is blending nicely. So let's see. Yeah. So how could we do it? Oh, and by the way, since we did this knit, I think we can also do this. So we can see it a bit better, but so we have this surface knit, yes, and we have this mirror in here. So I don't need this mirror in there. And yes, I was cutting these surfaces so that I understand what is going on. So we don't need that. And now we can look at the model properly and have a good idea, right? So let's see. I'm interested to see what's going on with this line in here. So I think we could go and evaluate this. So we see where it is interrupt, where so that we can see the interruptions, right, into the model. Yeah, so we can see it all the way across, right? Even if it's barely visible, it is still there, which is only expected, really. All right, so we have it up to here. It should be with that sharp line, but from here onwards, it should be without the sharp line, right? So let's see, how can it be done? Well, that usually is coming from from doing the fillets, isn't it? So if I would do the fillets in here, finish them in here, and then on the other side I would connect everything in curvature, I shouldn't have that anymore, right? So I'm going to hide this surface in here and look a little bit of on how we could manage these areas in here. I cannot make a transition from contact to curvature, that's for sure. Yeah, so what we can do is, first of all, from here, limit this surface somewhere, I don't know, up to here, where we know that we should start seeing uh, that that edge fading away. Right, so we have that, and not sure if we will be able to apply a fillet right away at this kind of surfaces. It may be a bit too much because they're not so, let's say, pointy, right? But let's try it to see. Yeah, it will work, it will work. So if we apply a fillet of, I think, like 2 millimeters, it will give us actually even 1 millimeter. It has to be a sharp transition, you see. It will give us what we need. The only problem, right, is here where we have this thing that is continuing like that, and that is not what we need. That is not what we want. And the fillet most probably will have to be more than not more, less. So it has to be a bit more sharp than that. So if I'm clicking on it, somewhere at 0.5 should be what we need, right? Yeah, because after you introduce all the reflections, you will see it as a sharp fillet despite you will see it as a sharp edge despite it has a fillet applied to it. Of course, I can see that here I might need to be even bigger, and I might need to adjust the curvature and all that, but that can always come a bit later. We are interested now into understanding the principle anyway. Right, so what should we do? So we do have a fillet in there, but I'm not going to apply it, not just yet. So I know that I need the fillet, but I know that I need it only up to here. And from here, I will need to make a transition towards the surface that we have, right? So what can we do is apply the fillet up to here, have a gap, have the transition, and then just blend them together, right? So I saw long time ago, I saw something interesting in Alias, because Alias is having the same kind of in Alias you have the same kind of constructions, and in Alias you make a cylinder so that you cut along where the fillet is, and then you will be able to make the fillet and the blend. So we are going to apply the same principle, since I am saying that this software can be used as an alternative for a very expensive software such as Alias. So I'm going to create the sketch in here to create the cylinder, and then use that for doing the cut. I just realized that I think I will need it only up to here. Okay, not sure if I can use the sweep surface right away. Circular profile, and I can select this, and I say 1 millimeter as a diameter, not 1 inch, 1 millimeter. Yeah, it works without a problem. That's great. But I don't need it for the whole section, because actually we will just apply a fillet and then cut the surfaces, right? So I need it only up to, I don't know, from here to there, right? So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm clicking OK, but I'm going to the section and select only that edge, delete the rest. Okay, yeah, and yeah, I don't like that I am having this like that in there. So it's not something quite as I wanted it. I want to be able to just cut this. Okay, all right, let's adapt and let's not waste the time anymore. So extending the cylinder for as much as it is needed. I'm going to make in here a surface to cut it. So I will be able to use ruled surface. I should be able to say normal to surface. Yep. I don't know, 2 millimeters should be all right. Can I select on both sides? No. Fine. I don't select it on both sides. I'm going to extend it so that I'm cutting the cylinder right there. Yeah, something like that. And now, can I select this edge? Yes, and I'm going to extend this like that. That's great. So now I will want to also make a cap for this cylinder in here. Okay, I want to join them together, and I will want to have it mutual and clear. And let's remove selections. Let's remove this and that. Yep. So I got a cylinder at the end to cut the surface, and now I can cut this one that I am having it in there. I'm thinking that maybe before cutting that, I could just blend them. Now let's cut it directly. So I use this tool and I say, am I having a surface knit? Yes. Let's put this continue without error. I need to delete the surface knit, isn't it? Not this surface knit, but this surface knit. No, are they separate? Let's see. What is this surface knit? Okay, so it's the surface knit applied to all of them. So I need to delete that surface knit. Yeah, of course, now it's going to give me some weird stuff in here. So I'm having this ruled surface. Okay. Okay, so it's extended on that side. Now I want it extended on this side. And now I want this to be extended like that. Fine. And the cap for cylinder. And now it's correct. Okay, so now that I eliminated that, I can cut this surface up, not mutual, standard, and I will want to keep this, and I can hide my cylinder in here. Okay, so we will be able to apply a fillet onto this. It will stop in here naturally. Then we can always make the blend the surface between the surfaces without the problem afterwards, right? So now I can go with this from here to the flip connectors. Okay, I will want them in curvature. Okay, I will want them to follow this, which will be already in curvature, so I don't necessarily need to select it. It shouldn't give me any problems whatsoever. Okay, so now I should have all this done in such a way so that I am having that fading, that fillet fading away. Right, now do I want to have a space between them in here as well? Not for now. I'm thinking that I'm going to lose a lot of time for that, and I don't want that. Just checking the video. We are 1 hour and 60 minutes into the video, so we should wrap it up and go. So that means going to join all this together. I shouldn't have a problem. I'm going to apply a fillet in here at 0.5 millimeters. Okay, which will give me that and would give me a straight edge in here, which is what it should be, or what is expected to have here. Yeah, but because we applied that cylinder, it is stopping in here, and from here we can always, you know, blend all this together nicely. Now I can extend the cylinder, you know, until the other end, until it gets, you know, until I have more distance to cover. And in this way I can, yeah, I think it will be better to fade, to have even more, to have a bit more from this fillet that we are doing there, rather than being so short. Yeah, so in this way the blend will happen through a bigger distance, not larger distance. And now, right, I don't have anything in here, so I don't have like another surface in here so that I can make this blend over a small area. But I have the cylinder, right? I'm just thinking how to make this a bit more automatic rather than just leave it like that. Or I can just apply it. You know what? Let's just do it straight away. I shouldn't have problems. I'm just thinking how to avoid arriving to waste more time. Right, so I did the right click and SolidWorks says that I'm happy with what I have there. No, I wasn't happy, SolidWorks, but fine. Okay, so I am in curvature. I will apply this as well in curvature, and that should give me that transition there. Oh my, I'm just next to the highway here. Our house is next to the highway, and when everyone is passing with a loud motorcycle, is so loud. Right, so okay, something like that. Yeah, we are quite in small amounts of millimeters in there, so maybe something like this should be really towards the middle, but I'm not forcing too much now, so I will just do it on the other side. Okay, and I will just go something like that. I could go like, I don't know, stuff like that, crazy like this, because at the end of the day it will blend naturally. I just want to have something similar to what I have there as a fillet. Okay, so curvature, and here as well I want to follow that. Well, it is saying something about it, but never mind. Why am I having that then? I just said never mind, huh? What he doesn't like. It should match. I shouldn't have a problem. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we arrived in here with, right? So if I am, for example, merging the surfaces together now, and if I will just fill them up, I could use also the boundary surface to connect them at the very end. I will just fill them up, and I will say, okay, I want curvature on all, because it shouldn't have a problem to apply curvature on all. And now I would just knit the surfaces together. I should be able to see this fillet done nicely, fading away towards the middle, or fading away towards wherever I said I want to fade away. But here towards the end, where I'm having this surfaces joined like that, I should be able to see no edge anymore in the reflections, and that's all right. That is looking as is expected. I will put the reflections back on, and yeah, the only thing that is not quite all right now is where it starts and where it is finishing, right? So if I am going to adjust that a bit by adjusting this surface in here, I shouldn't have a problem with the whole thing. It should just let me do it automatically, which it does. So again, looking at it, of course now I'm having this making some weird stuff in here. Let's adjust that. It's our cylinder doing things here, most probably. Let's see what's going on. Yes, so that is what is going on. I can also adjust this fillet by making it variable. Let's see, can I make it variable already after I did it? I should be able. Fillet option. Partial edge. Multiple radius fillet. Yeah, I should be able, but not anymore, because probably it's already applied. Okay, that's not a problem. I can always go with this surface in here a bit closer. There. Okay, and with the cylinder closer to this point in there. So let's see, where do we have our cylinder? Yeah, I will go somewhere around there. Yes, now of course it will say that it will have some errors because of this surface in here. Okay, I don't like that it's going like that. I would like to be wider, so for the next video probably we would adjust that. But now I'm going to adjust this in here like that and like that, and yeah, okay, yeah, so that's one of the things with the fill. By using fill surface, it's not always going to give you the right stuff, but equally I will want this actually to start more from here, so let's do exactly that. Now seeing the behavior somewhere like that. Okay, so that's way too sharp in there, and definitely is not as we want it to be. So um, let's use boundary surface on it. But we will need a sketch for these two edges here if we apply boundary surface. So 3D sketch, convert the entities, great. And now let's do the boundary surface, and we should see the difference between boundary surface and fill. So flip connectors, curvature to surface, curvature to surface, and now I will want to use these guides in here so that will work all right. Okay. Let's knit the surfaces together again. Yeah, it's getting closer. But the fact that we have this transition here so sharp is not quite what we expected. So let's try a bit more, a few other stuff. And yeah, if we encounter problems to do it, then yeah, next video it will be about how to actually make it fade away properly. I don't like that the fillet goes like this in here, that is tapering, which is only normal to taper really. But if not, we will have to do it in a different way. for some reasons, okay, for some reasons it's just not getting it right at the ends. But it should get it right if I am doing this without using the guides. Ah, okay, now I understand what's going on. Yeah, of course. So it is a little bit confused. So if I'm going with this surface like that and with that surface like that, of course it is going to be quite confused in the way that in the way that stuff are going on, right? So what we need to do in this instance, yeah, and this sketch in here, so some of the bits are not going to be the best anymore. So in this instance, going to remove the fillets that I have. And what do I have in here? So I have another boundary surface. So I'm going to remove this boundary surface as well. And what I'm going to do is to create another patch in here so that I can connect these two together. All right, so I can, yeah, we can create another cylinder just like we did before. And that one shouldn't be a problem to make it work. I don't know, something like this around here. Okay. Circular profile in here, 0.5. So I want it to be yet bigger, or however I want it to be bigger. Okay. I want to extend this one in here. Okay. And this one in here, I would want it like a cap. All right. There you go. And use this and keep this. There. So now doing this, we should be able to connect things without any problem whatsoever. Yeah. So I'm going to select this boundary surface between these two, flip connectors both in curvature, and after I'm doing the knit, I should be able to have it done to not have any problems despite I'm having a patch like this in there. And again, the curves and all that shouldn't give me any problems. Okay. And now, because it is done like that, I should be able to go easily and connect these two nicely. So flip connectors, want them in curvature. Okay, so it will give me something like this along the way. I could create the other surfaces as well and then apply this, but for the time being we can do it like that. Okay, I want this to be at 0.3, so that is less like that in here. It's quite a narrow band in there. That's why it's kind of indicating that he doesn't like. All right, so now we can just do those two. I don't think I even need to select the other edges around because those are in curvature, so they should just continue and having the flow nicely done. The same on the other side. Actually, no, on the other side I cannot. Okay, so let's do this on the other side. And it's good that it's recognizing now, apart from one edge, that should be done in curvature without problems. All right, so let's see, working or not working. If it doesn't work, then next video is about how to solve it. If it does work, then next video is about how to adjust it. So for now, it looks like it works. Let's hide the sketches. There you go, yeah. So it is fading away somewhere towards the middle, but then in all the other areas in here, it is going to look just normal. All right, so we apply the mirror and the surface trim. Let's do the surface trim again. Okay, so I want to remove this and this. There. And voila, yeah, looking quite all right. And we will be able to modify it later on and see what other stuff we can do about it. But when all the cards will be introduced, it's not going to be such a big deal, or it's not going to be necessary to have such a precise thing. But for now, it is good enough. I'm just looking to see if we have any other environment that could be a bit better for seeing all this. I remember it was something like factory floor that helps us, that will help us seeing better. Not really. Um, Strip lighting, no. Nah, no matter what you choose, it's not going to really make it more visible than it is. So something again dark, and then yeah, and then we can look probably by using the evaluation in here with the zebra stripes, right? But yeah, if we look in here, we can see that we have the discontinuity around the edge in here, and then everything is continuing nicely, flowing correctly without a problem. So yeah, mission accomplished. Well, that is it really for today. It's all white now. Let's maybe orange. Urban background may be better. It doesn't matter. It's all white, so it doesn't matter. All right, so that would be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. And please, if you didn't see the other videos, go check them out because they will show how we arrived in here and what we did until now. And also give me a like if you like what you're seeing, or if you learn from what you're seeing or from my own mistakes. And please don't forget that yeah, if you are interested into one-to-one and or group coaching for CAD design and rendering, yeah, leave me a message at the email address that is written in here, and you can find the same email address in my channel description. So thank you very much, and yeah, I shall see you next time. Bye bye.